Your mission is 100% virtualization of Data City to enable the software-defined data center and to build a vCloud hybrid service.
Look at all the points you've earned with software-defined storage, sir. But this is a challenging mission. You'll need all of VMware's software powers to do it. Wow, sir. Now you are super TurboCom. Oh my, sir. Your new VMware powers are amazing. Hybrid Cloudville is live. Congratulations, sir. You've done it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Executive Officer, VMware, Pat Gelsinger.
Good morning. It is great to be here at EMC World, and this is the 5th time that I've gotten to speak to the EMC World audience. And I remember the first time I was here, I was this silicon guy after 30 years at Intel, coming to speak to a storage audience, right? Then it was 3 years of storage, and now I'm the software guy coming to speak to the storage audience. So I'm constantly a misfit when I come and talk to you all, but it is a great pleasure, right, to be able to tell you a little bit more about the VMware vision, the strategy, and where we're going with this IT as a software-defined future. We see that the industry is in the midst of dramatic shifts where every CIO, every decision maker has the same fundamental challenge, where their budgets are approximately flat. They need to save money on today's IT while they're investing in tomorrow's IT. They need to find ways to reduce costs, increase operations and agility on their client server investments, while simultaneously building the world of the future for their mobile cloud investment. And across that, simply put, status quo won't work. A fundamental change is needed. A new approach is required. So before we look forward, let's actually look back. Let's walk back in time 25 years to 1989. And 1989 was a period of dramatic tectonic shifts going on in geo and politics, right, and industry as well. It's the year the Berlin Wall came falling down. It was the year of dismantling of apartheid in South Africa. It was demonstrations in Tiananmen Square. And speaking of tectonic shifts, I lived in the Bay Area. That was the year of the World Series earthquake, and I remember very much, I was home early that night. I was flying out, very unusual, but I was flying somewhere. And so I was home early, and at 4:56 p.m. when the earthquake hit, I remember grabbing our kids, running out the door, and my 3-year-old at the time saying, "Daddy, why is the tree moving?" Right, as it was in our backyard. So, you know, an incredible memory of literal tectonic shifts that were going on. But it wasn't just physical, geopolitical, it was also technology. And how many of you remember this place? Right, this is the famous clock tower buildings of Digital Equipment Corporation. And in 1989, DEC was at its absolute peak, the apex of the industry, the #2 technology company in the world. And at that point in time, 125,000 employees, and widely written that they were the company that was going to displace IBM. Their market cap was number 2. They were growing, they were innovating, and the mini computer was challenging the mainframe. But as the 80s were drawing to a close, right, the gravity was shifting. Tectonic shifts were underway. And the rise of the microprocessor, the rise of the PC industry was beginning to shake the industry of the mini and the mainframe computer at the time. I know in 1989, I wrote a paper called Microprocessor 2000, Micro 2000, that predicted the death of the mini computer and the mainframe. And I was almost precisely accurate on the mini computer, and well, I'll eventually be right with respect to the mainframe. And in that year, Ken Olsen made this statement, right? PCs were toys. They're going to fall flat in business. And 9 years later, they were sold to a toy maker named Compaq on a fire sale. It was a dramatic tectonic shift that occurred in the industry. And if we think 25 years later, that's exactly the situation that we are in again. And the tectonic shift that we're underway as we move into the mobile cloud era of computing is even more dramatic, more significant than the transition that occurred 25 years ago. And as we think about that transition, we see there are 2 fundamental paths forward. One is the path that we've been following to date, right? The hardware-defined data center, where, right, the value, the intelligence, the capabilities are in CLIs and in scripts and in manual operations, or the software-defined data center, where, right, that intelligence is, leveraging the underlying hardware, but fundamentally it moves into the software layer. And this intelligence in the software layer enables automation, enables efficiency, performance, and a new and profound way to operate. And against this, we see fundamentally this shift, this choice that we have to make from the HDDC to the SDDC is fundamental, dramatic, and will redefine the industry, right, for the next 25 years. And against this, the power of software is significant and sits at the center of the VMware strategy. And we've laid out these 3 priorities. First, the software-defined data center, where we're going to virtualize the whole data center through this power of a software layer. Second, the hybrid cloud, seamlessly moving from on and off premise. And the third, in our end user computing strategy, going from the data center to the device for securing and managing those devices. And we're not going to have time today to cover number 3, but against that, it's making significant moves at VMware with regard to our Horizon 6, our latest launch of our end user computing platform, and combining that with the leading mobile assets of AirWatch to drive a fundamental shift in how devices are managed, secured for enterprise use cases for the future. So we'll look more deeply at the software-defined data center and the hybrid cloud in our time together today. Starting with the software-defined data center, there are 4 legs to our strategy here. Number 1 is compute, the birthright of VMware, virtualizing the compute platform. Second is the network, right, and bringing that same power of ESX to the network through NSX. Third, storage, right, and changing the model of storage for the future in this environment. And finally, management, the control point, the enabler of automation of the data center operations. And because it's EMC World, the largest showing of storage in the industry, let's start with storage. And the storage market is evolving rapidly, and if we think back 3 decades ago, it was DAS, right? Basically local storage devices inside of each compute. And that gave way to a powerful shift to storage area networks and centralized SAN and NAS arrays. And this has been the model, right? The basis that enabled much of the internet boom for the last several decades, an extraordinarily powerful model. But the singular view of storage today is giving way due to rise of new application demands, as well as new technologies that are enabling a different view of how storage will occur in the future. Technologies like servers-based flash devices and the performance that they enable, the continuing and plummeting cost per gigabyte of disk drives, abundant CPU cycles that enable us to move data services from the hardware right into software-delivered services and hyper-converged infrastructure as well. All of these are delivering powerful shifts in the technology, but also new economics through things like cloud-delivered and enabled storage models as well. All of these are driving significant disruption to storage. Further, the hypervisor opens up significant new opportunities to change how we address these challenges. The hypervisor is uniquely positioned with a view into the applications, but also the ability to look and manage the hardware and infrastructure as well, a global view of that underlying infrastructure, and the unique ability to line application demands with infrastructure capabilities. Virtualization is the gateway to enable this new model of storage for the future. And we overall call this software-defined storage. Yesterday, David Goulden in his keynote had a picture very similar to this one and described this idea of software-defined storage that EMC and VMware are working on together to deliver to the future. The first tenet of that is the separation of the control plane from the data plane, this ever-broadening set of storage solutions, and the ability to abstract, pool, and create flexible, logical pools of storage. Second is virtual data services, being able to move data services into the virtual domain, services like replication, dedupe, caching, abstracted from physical storage and enabled to be done on a per VM basis or through EMC Viper for heterogeneous storage arrays. And finally, a policy-based control plane that allows this common management plane to be able to automate the delivery of storage capacity and data services. And these three taken together, separation of control, virtualized data services, and policy-based control plane, are the tenets for software-defined storage. And we'll look at each of those elements a little bit more closely. From VMware, we're very excited about this new model of hypervisor converged storage, and we call the product vSAN. And vSAN radically simplifies hypervisor converged storage models. It's abstracting and pooling server-side disk and flash to deliver a shared data store that's operated fully in the context of the virtual environment. Think of it very simply as a new tier of storage. Not the only tier, but a new tier of storage delivered through the hyper-converged infrastructure. It's simple. A few clicks from vCenter allows you to discover and to allocate this new tier of storage. It decouples software from hardware capabilities. It also is embedded in the ESX kernel, so it's very high performance. It's the new hot edge of virtualized storage environments and fully policy-based management framework aligned to VM automation needs as well. Overall, a performant, resilient, scalable storage tier that is easy to use. And virtual SAN, in that sense, is truly a new category of software-defined storage. We announced the public beta at VMworld last year. We got amazingly positive response with over 12,000 beta customers participating. We've seen very strong response from the market to this new category of storage. And our team has performed very well. We pulled in the vSAN launch. We launched it in March of this year. They've overachieved in its technical capabilities, going from 8 to 16 to 32 node clusters, up to 6 petabytes of raw data. And as you see here, was the best of interop in the storage category. And some of the use cases for virtual SAN. And like any V1 storage product, as I would like to say, you just got to suffer a little bit until it's really a storage product, right? It's like Janis Joplin in the blues. You got to hurt more before you can sing the blues. And that's like any storage array. You just got to hurt more before, right, it's really there for production uses. And we're very excited for things like virtual desktop, right? Peak performance, high density VDI environments. Amazingly simple to use, bundled with new products like Horizon 6 product line. Test dev and tier 3, enabling the test and dev environments to not put further demands on the production storage environments, but to deliver those directly as part of their test and dev requirements. and DR fully integrated with capabilities like vSphere Replicator and VMware SRM, cost-effective and minimizes burden and footprint in the data center. So vSAN, an exciting new tier of storage capabilities. We're also working with the industry in this effort called vVols, or virtual volumes, that allows us to extend the policy layer that we've described for policy-driven storage from the VM and extend it to external arrays. In a perfect world, VMware should have delivered this before we delivered virtual SAN, because today the only way to benefit from that policy-driven environment is through virtual SAN. Through vVols, we're extending that to third-party arrays as well. And I know that here, this large gathering of the storage industry, on behalf of VMware, I apologize, right, that we haven't enabled that to date. And we are committed that the next version of vSphere will include, fully enable vVol as this critical new capabilities for the industry to participate in policy-driven storage. And if we look at this, the first is policies are set on a per VM basis at the application level. VMs are then provisioned to the most appropriate tier of storage to execute against those policies. And finally, those policies are then automatically matched against those storage arrays to the VM requirements. And simply put, data services are provisioned, right, and automated through this ability of virtual volume. Working together, VMware and EMC are executing together against this vision of software-defined storage. VMware, a new tier of storage, enabling radically simple storage at the virtual machine level. EMC, comprehensive, powerfully comprehensive, and radical innovations like Viper and many of the other products that you've seen this week, enabling efficiency, power, and a consistent view as we work together toward a shared vision of the software-defined future for storage. So with storage under our belt, let's now look at compute. Virtualizing the compute is where we began as a company. It's our birthright, and we are off after 15 years to continue this journey. And simply put, our objective is to virtualize 100%. Today we sit at something like 70%. Our goal, virtualize 100% of applications in the world. Incremental areas like embedded applications, telco applications, big data, or high-performance computing. And today it is my pleasure to talk about major progress in mission-critical applications. And today we are announcing Virtual HANA on vSphere 5.5. SAP HANA now, yes. All right, some of you were definitely not in the casinos too late last night. This is good. We are excited about Virtual HANA. The first and only hypervisor for production use of HANA is now VMware. We're enabling this on or off premise. SAP, right, is critical infrastructure. 54% of the worldwide governments run on SAP. 60% of the world's transactional revenue runs through SAP. And to the EMC World audience, to those of you who weren't, who were in the bars last night, I have an important statistic for you. Over 72% of the world's beer production runs through SAP. Yeah, this is good. And for my wife, who's absolutely a chocoholic, 70% of the world's chocolate runs through SAP, right? So, clearly SAP, right, is and is rapidly, right, becoming, the most important mission-critical framework software in the industry. And SAP is rapidly migrating those HANA customers of SAP onto the HANA infrastructure. But to date, production use has been limited to physical environments only. And today, all of that changes. This is a huge value, a huge leap for SAP customers, and a huge step in mission-critical virtual environments as well. And this is addressing many pain points for customers today. Better service levels, native high availability, zero downtime migrations, automated restarts, virtualized environments with the security models that are part of those as well. We've worked deeply with SAP for the last 2 years on the performance testing and validation of this environment. Essentially, virtual performance matches that of native hardware environments as well. Faster time to market, right? Automated deployment of instances instead of taking weeks or months for new hardware deployment, literally minutes or hours for new HANA instances, and radically lower TCO, reducing CapEx by up to 70%, OpEx by over 50%, and being able to combine that with the same operational environment, right, the same virtual operational environment that most data centers are running on today without special tools, without special staff or instances to operate as well. And we're very excited about the strong partner ecosystem behind SAP HANA on VMware. And if we could just hear from them right now. This is a customer quote that we have from Daimler. Look at this quote, right? SAP HANA and vSphere live in production could be the key to our future. Wow, fundamental enablers of key industry players like Daimler. So if we could hear directly from a few of the partners who are participating with this announcement today.
Today's announcement between SAP and VMware is good news for the enterprise because intrinsically it reduces the complexity through the pre-integration of these two solutions. It will allow us as a service provider, but ultimately for our client to maintain or even improve the quality of service.
Now with the combined power of HANA and VMware virtualization platform through a virtual SAP HANA solution, we are developing solutions to empower our clients to adopt HANA into their environments in record time.
So this combination of technologies from SAP, VMware, and HP is purpose-built to help a customer solve the analytics problems that are right in front of them today. And ultimately, they want to be able to do new applications and transform how they run their business over time, especially technologies like VMware as a virtual infrastructure management platform.
I'm excited to be here today talking about our work with SAP and VMware. SAP's been a terrific partner of ours for years. We've also been a long-term partner with VMware, delivering a number of firsts on our EXA platform. So now, with virtualized SAP HANA, clients can get that fast, agile, and resilient performance capability in a virtualized environment. We're pretty excited about it.
So partners like CAP, Deloitte, HP, IBM, but as you see here, a broad partner ecosystem is behind SAP HANA and combining that with the power of virtualization and vSphere, clearly accelerating and delivering the value of this breakthrough innovation of in-memory HANA with the infrastructure that clearly is the standard for how businesses are built and operate today. Today, a very important announcement. So let's switch gears now and look at the network. Networking and security, the last critical piece of the puzzle to enable this full vision of the software-defined data center. And with that, VMware NSX. We announced NSX last August at VMware World in San Francisco. It's built to support any application, new or old, any cloud management system, physical as well as virtual environments, hypervisors from VMware as well as from the industry. Like ESX over a decade ago, revolutionizing the network. And just last week, the Magic Quadrant for Gartner was published. VMware clearly the leader in network vision. The first time a software-only company has ever shown up in the networking Magic Quadrant, and we are truly, truly thrilled about this significant result. NSX at EMC World, you'll see it on the show floor, you'll see it in the cloud builders area, you'll see it operating on a range of infrastructure, including platforms like the VCE vBlock environment. Clearly, NSX is significant at EMC World. Now, there are three primary reasons to virtualize your network. First, speed. And we have customers who simply say, I cannot deploy applications fast enough unless it's done in the same virtual automated environment. Economics, both OpEx and CapEx. And don't be confused by vendors who might say, hey, a forklift hardware upgrade is easier to do and lower costs than a software virtual deployment. Simple nonsense. This is the most effective way to bring economics to your network. And security. New approaches to data center security, microsegmentation, overlay networks as a new and profound way to execute on the security of the network for the future. We call that the Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold. Being able to have full application visibility and combine that with infrastructure enforceability. Tremendous breakthrough for how network security can be provided. So let's hear, right, and we're getting great customer traction. 3 of the 5 top investment banks, leading global enterprises, network operators are embracing and using this. Simply, every customer visit I go on includes a discussion of the transformational capabilities of network virtualization. And one of those customers, right, I'd like to share with you today, WestJet. Airlines in Canada, Richard Stiletto, a great partner for us. And if we could roll that video now.
My name is Richard Stiletto, and I work for WestJet Airlines, Canada's preferred airline. Our primary focus is on providing exceptional guest experience at an affordable price. One of the problems that we found with our network is it was really well designed for what we call north-south traffic or client-server traffic, but it wasn't that well designed for east-west traffic or what we call server-to-server traffic. And what we're seeing now is a growth in the server-to-server traffic, and that's starting to stress our network. So where we see NSX having the ability to be able to help us solve these problems is with virtualized network and security, we can keep a lot of that east-west traffic inside the hypervisor, providing better performance and more reliability. And when we think about technologies like mobile computing and bring your own device, it means we need to apply more and more security policies to the network traffic.
We realized right away that we do have already a significant investment in hardware and infrastructure that we have to keep in place. We can't simply upgrade it at will. We have to realize the investment in that equipment. The NSX product we found is able to allow us to utilize that current investment in infrastructure as well as realize the vision we have for our security and networking in the data center.
I think software-defined networking is something that's going to be a major shift in the networking environment. And the fact that VMware is bringing that into their product line really shows that they're serious about their network virtualization and that they're thinking progressively about the future.
So as you saw here, right, this idea of network virtualization and companies like WestJet putting that into deployment, and they're re-architecting their applications to have true SOA applications. And the only way to deal with the east-west traffic patterns and the security models is through NSX and network virtualization. And we're very excited about their breakthroughs and the work that they're doing with us. So next up, management, the last leg, right, of the SDDC. And as IT teams are navigating to this mobile cloud era, management is fundamental to that transformation. Fundamentally, businesses are looking at IT to respond more rapidly and increasingly deliver them services, many of those outside of their direct responsibility. And IT needs to respond more quickly to those line of business requirements, take advantage of external cloud services, but still execute in the context of performance, quality of service, and compliance that they're required to deliver. Management sits in between those. It's the face, right, the interface to enable this balance of speed and agility with control and efficiency. And our focus at VMware is do that through this layer of automation and management that enables both of these to be simultaneously delivered. We're building our management portfolio to address these challenges for the future. We see these 3 legs of the management problem, right? First, cloud automations. Second, cloud operations. And third, cloud business. And we've purpose-built these for the cloud era. Cloud automation, automated self-service delivery of personalized, unique templated IT services. Cloud operations, intelligent, automated operations with visibility from the apps through the infrastructure. And third, cloud business, complete transparency of cost models and bill back and show back environments, including quality of IT services as well. Our mission is to enable IT to deliver IT as a service. Similarly, we're working closely with EMC to bring all of these pieces together. In the automation area, VCAC, or cloud automation, enables that service catalog to automate the provisioning of desired storage devices as part of the overall application deployment. In the operations area, EMC's infrastructure management capabilities feed metrics into the VC operations environments, enabling the correlation and analysis of storage behavior and operation. And in business, the cost of storage is reflected and integrated and visible as part of the deployments and operational environments. And across the data center resources, not just on-premise, not just those that are virtualized, but across all infrastructure, on and off-premise and cloud. With EMC, VMware and EMC are delivering best-in-class cloud management capabilities, both physical and virtual capabilities for all of infrastructure, including unique and best-of-class capabilities for storage environments as well. Customers are seeing the profound capabilities of all three of these. In the cloud automation area, things like Covance, a leader in big pharma environments, are taking advantage of the cloud automation environment to allow them to bring drugs to market more rapidly, but also to meet their unique regulatory requirements as well. In the area of cloud operations, a customer like Betfair, the largest gaming company in the world now, they're doing more transactions a day than all of the stock exchanges in Europe combined. And with vCloud Suite, automated application testing as they deliver 15 new applications a week and getting great and unique benefit of the Cloud Operations Suite. Or customers like Deutsche Telekom for cloud business, where they are running and monitoring all of their KPIs for their mobile solutions for the marketplace as well, and taking advantage of the Cloud Business Suite in accomplishing that. Management and automation is the foundation for the software-defined data center, but it's also uniquely the enablement for the hybrid cloud, and that's where we'll look next. The hybrid cloud is profound and significant because we have 500,000 customers, in excess of 40 million VMs, who are in the midst of looking at the secular shift to the public cloud and answering the question, how could I take advantage of that? But do I need to do radical shifts from my management tools, the networking, the skills that I have built up, or is this a radical shift to some other platform for the future? But before we look at that question more deeply, let's look at the market overall a little bit more carefully, because we all know that cloud is going on. So, how much is the growth happening in cloud versus how much on-premise? And clearly, the growth rate of cloud-delivered services is profound and aggressive, 6x that of on-premise IT. But growth rates don't tell the whole story, because where is the spend, or where is the market today? And on-premise dwarfs the public cloud, the IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS delivered offerings today. So clearly, the market is on-premise today, while the growth is in the cloud-delivered services of tomorrow. And while public cloud is growing like gangbusters, the spend is still on-premise. And even by 2020, greater than 70% of the spend is still predicted to be on-premise. And because of this, we have a profound belief at VMware and EMC that the future is hybrid. Right? It is neither public nor private. It is the operation of both of those together. And it's not just because of the lag or the inertia of on-premise spend. It's because of things like data sovereignty and business liability and performance and SLA requirements, costs and security and privacy, that the answer is hybrid forever. And this is a critical decision point for CIOs as they're struggling today to say, do I go off-premise, or how do I go off-premise and take advantage of that? And some cloud providers are what we would call, they're like the Hotel California. You remember that Eagles song from the 70s? Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. And you remember that line from the Hotel California? You can check out, but you can never leave. And this is an accurate description of most of the public cloud services today, as they have proprietary APIs, proprietary services. You can never really leave. And maybe if we go back to the beginning of the speech, it's sort of like the DEC-VAX. It was early, it was growing rapidly, but ultimately failed because it wasn't a flexible, dynamic, open environment. And against that, we see the hybrid cloud, right, as the answer for the future that provides full compatibility between the on-premise and the public cloud, the ability to move workload and take advantage of capabilities in both. With the vCloud hybrid service, we're fundamentally addressing the Hotel California problem. So first, what is the vCloud hybrid service? This is an infrastructure as a service that's owned and operated by VMware, deeply partnered with EMC, which we'll talk about in a moment. The industry's first and only true hybrid cloud solution, built on the best ingredients on earth, built on that vSphere foundation of technologies, where we support more Linux than AWS and Google Compute Cloud combined, more Windows versions than Microsoft, 2x the performance in the CPU than Azure, 7x the storage performance of AWS, built-in high availability, elegant DR solutions, built and operated for enterprise customers. VCHS delivers old and new apps, over 9,000 validated applications available on this infrastructure, common management and orchestration, common and seamless networking and security models across layer 2 and layer 3 domains, and the same common support models that we have 500,000 customers taking advantage of today. A seamless extension of your on-premise data center to the public cloud without changing apps, without changing operational models. And we're working with EMC to expand this, right? EMC, clearly the on-premise storage provider of choice for mission-critical and on-premise, extending their offerings with the hybrid cloud of VCHS. Strong sales, support models, combined with the VMware channels and innovations and cloud offerings. Clearly, the most flexible, complete hybrid IT solution for the future. Simply put, no other cloud provider can possibly compare with the combined capabilities of VMware and EMC for customers, innovation, solutions, support, and go-to-market. And even though it's only been in the marketplace for 6 months, we're getting great recognition and response from the industry, as you see by some of the quotes here. Best of interop, clearly recognized as emerging as the enterprise cloud of choice. And this one I particularly like. VMware has done the hard work of making vCloud not just another cloud service, but one that mirrors and interoperates with enterprises' virtualized data centers. And that was from the judges of the Interop Award, clearly aiming to deliver the enterprise hybrid cloud of choice. And it's not just what we are doing directly, it's a rich set of partners in the industry. It's the network, right, of the vCloud powered services that are available, and combining what we are doing with what they are doing, and layering onto that additional services, infrastructure services, solution services, and finally, application services. And where every member of the network benefits from these services, but also the work that they do adds value to the overall network. We're rapidly expanding our footprint. By the end of this year, we are going to be in approximately 8 US data centers and expanding to deliver a federal cloud service as well, and 2 in the UK. We'll also be launching additional partnerships throughout Europe and Asia to deliver this broadly, and we expect to cover over 75% of the cloud market in the world through partnerships like the Savvis partnerships. If we look at the broader VSPP partner program, we see that today there's a land mass of about 32 million square kilometers. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't know that before getting ready for the speech. But if we add up all of our VSPP partners, we cover 75% of the land mass of the world, and we'll just call that approximately 100% of the total cloud available market is covered by our 3,560 partners, our 270 vCloud powered partners, growing at greater than 100% per year. This is the enterprise hybrid cloud of choice for the future. What I'd like to do is hear from just a few of our early customers right now, if we could roll the video.
What we were really looking for was a strategic partner, somebody that would listen to some of the use cases and the stories and the vision that Columbia had. VMware got it. It was just the right fit and the right solution.
The technologies that VMware leveraged to deploy their hybrid cloud matched exactly what Nexon America had already implemented in our private cloud.
Some of the major challenges with disaster recovery for any IT organization is to make sure that all changes in production are replicated to your disaster recovery site. With VCHS, disaster recovery, it does not require us to spend capital to build a virtual infrastructure somewhere else. We're going to be able to offer our customers significantly better RPO and RTO without any additional cost. VMware has allowed us to reduce our spend, focus on our customers and our product.
This has been a total game changer for our company. And I think it's going to be a total game changer for the entire industry. Then what are you going to do? You're going to go out to your users from an IT perspective and you're going to say, bring it on.
We see these 5 starting points as the way to the hybrid cloud journey. Test and dev. The place where VMware really began, right? That first safe place to get started for the use of, not as critical or production environments off-premise. Maybe the next app upgrade cycle, rather than continuing to build infrastructure internally, taking advantage of the public cloud for that next upgrade. DR, which I'll talk about more in a moment. Or maybe modernization of your traditional 3-tier applications, but doing that in a cloud way. Or truly building a next-gen, Gen 3 platform as well. In just the 6+ months since we've been in the marketplace, amazing progress, excitement from customers as we're delivering the first and only true hybrid enterprise cloud for the industry. Our disaster recovery announcement last month was a great example of a unique hybrid cloud service. DR today is expensive, it's difficult. Most businesses don't have a complete or good business continuity solution. It's expensive and it's hard. And with the vCloud hybrid service DR offering, we had great response from our beta customers. Early market response has been great. It's simple self-service replication and failover and failback. If you can run vCenter, you can run vCenter with DR from the hybrid cloud, and available now. And this is just, we think it's just a great way to get started with that first step into a hybrid cloud offering for the future. And the last of our announcements today is, Cloud Foundry available on the vCloud hybrid service. Paul will be following me in just a moment, talking about the incredible industry response and momentum for the pivotal Cloud Foundry offering in the marketplace. In Q4 of last year, we announced the pivotal Cloud Foundry on-premise with vSphere. Today, we're announcing pivotal Cloud Foundry off-premise on the vCloud hybrid service offering, bringing together the great momentum of Cloud Foundry for enterprise application development, and now as the first true hybrid PaaS layer available in the industry. And this to us is yet another demonstration of both the federation working together, the unique value that we bring to the marketplace, and a true hybrid cloud offering for the future. And today, early access is available for Cloud Foundry on the vCloud hybrid service. In summary, we see this period of the industry as dramatic tectonic shifts as we move from client-server computing to the mobile cloud era. Against that, we see that the value proposition is shifting from hardware to software. And from a guy who has over 30 years in silicon and hardware, that's a hard thing to say. But the value is truly be delivering at that next layer of the software-defined enterprise. And finally, it is a hybrid cloud world. And working with EMC and VMware, we are out committed to help you, enable you, and partner with you as we go on that journey to the hybrid cloud future. Thank you very much.